Welcome back, everyone, to Upper Dublin, the site of a first-half debacle by the Norristown Eagles, who have looked so good all season long with their record at 4-0 coming in. But being joined now by my broadcast partner, Dave Fazzini, and of course we have the 8-0 Cardinals lead, but the Eagles, fortunate for it to not be more.
Mark, they're incredibly fortunate for it to not be more than that. And as we start the second half, I can only imagine what Coach Smith said to these guys before the half. It was a bad effort. And I'm straining to try to find positive things to say, and I really can't come up with anything. The only thing, as you said, is it could have been worse.
Sheldon Mayer's run for, what would you say, maybe like 20 yards?
About 20 yards.
He's averaging 158 a game, and I mean, today, absolutely nothing. And then you have short offensive possessions. Your defense is on the field for a long time. Your quarterback's forced into tough situations, throwing the ball deep down the field. 2 interceptions for Shannon Mayer might have something to do with the lack of a running game. So really, to me, they got to get Sheldon Mayer going. It makes life easier for the quarterback. It makes life easier for the defense. And not to mention all the production you get from Sheldon himself.
Oh, that's exactly right. And the more, obviously, that you get they talk in the stock game about the diversified portfolio, you really need that here. And then Sheldon Mayer is definitely going to have to be an integral part of this second half.
Taylor Hillenbrand to kick off. He was the subject of one of the Upper Dublin scores when he was tackled in the end zone for a safety as the punter. This kick is recovered by the Eagles. Oh my. And man, all right, so just to break it down real quick, for those of you unaware of exactly how that can happen. The Eagles kick the ball off, it bounces around a little bit, looks like it might be going out of bounds, so the Upper Dublin Cardinals let it roll a little bit. Akeem Boyd comes flying out of
nowhere.
Who knows where.
He's been the special teams star all year, and Boyd just did a great job.
Wow, what a big play. Mayer now with great field position starting from the Cardinals 25. Hands it off to Sheldon. He thunders ahead for a big solid gain, and boy, what a good start for the Eagles to this half.
Great play by Boyd and great play by Sheldon Mayer there. Really nice job.
They'll give him 9, and it'll be 2nd and 1. A lot of things you could do with 2nd and 1.
Whatever Coach Smith said at halftime, it seems to have worked.
Yeah, that play by Akeem Boyd, I mean, that exactly goes along with that coaching thing and, getting people motivated, because that was an all-heart play. I mean, it took a lot of speed and everything, but, I mean, that's just hustle, determination, and heart.
That is hustle, determination, and heart right there.
Mayer motions out to the slot as a wide receiver, and Presley gets the handoff. And he gets a nice chunk of yardage. Tracy Presley, a guy who comes into this game with 234 yards on the season and 3 touchdowns. He's pretty much the second best running back threat for these Eagles. And you can see why right there.
Tracy Presley with a little thunder and lightning action there, following up the Mayer carry with a great run of his own. Nicely done. Nice play.
Ball in about the 7.5. The Eagles could be just a couple of seconds away from tying this thing up. As hard as that is to believe by the way they've played. Here's Sheldon Mayer cutting it back inside, and he dances into the end zone for a touchdown. It's 8-6 Cardinals with the extra point coming up.
And there's a flag on the play.
A flag on the field. Called holding against Norristown.
Holding against Norristown. So the second Sheldon Mayer touchdown of the day called back by a penalty, but the Eagles still have first down, and they're not in a terrible spot right now.
That brings up first and goal from the Upper Dublin 15-yard line for the Eagles.
Absolutely ridiculous.
First and goal from the 15, though. They line up with only one wide receiver. They go into that 2 tight end package with Larry Smith coming on as the second tight end. They hand it off to Mayer, and he's dropped in the backfield for a loss. 53 Steve Amon on the tackle, and we've played just over a minute in the half. The Eagles fortunate to have the ball on that unbelievable kickoff recovery by Akeem Boyd, but so far this possession has been destroyed by that holding penalty.
There's an old adage in football, Mark, that you can call holding on just about every play. I think that the refs here tonight are determined to see that adage come true.
Second and goal from the 15. A fortunate spot just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Shannon Mayer throwing end zone. It's deflected away. A great play by number 3 for the Cardinals, and that is Khalil Nash. Khalil Nash was sticking a different receiver, but was in the area and got his hand on the pass.
Yeah, Nash made a really nice play on that one. Mayer's not getting some of those throws he was getting in the past, and I don't know what's going on, but he's just not making some of them.
And now here's what's scary. They start out at their own, at the Cardinals' 20 it was, I guess, off the Akeem Boyd kickoff recovery.
Yep.
They scored, had it called back. They had first and goal from the 7, and now they might not even score. Mayer drops back, throws near sideline. It's caught, but it does not get them beyond the goal line. And now, do they dare kick a field goal?
Oh. I think you do, because you want to get points on the board, but you've really... They're not.
No, they're not. So it's 4th and goal from the 9. They got 9 yards to go. And a lot of fans here from Upper Dublin. You can't really tell from up here, but I took a walk at halftime. This place is packed, and they're making some noise now.
Place is packed here tonight. They're making noise.
Throwing beach balls around, making some noise.
This is as close to a do-or-die play as you get in the third quarter.
The wide receivers lined up tight on the near side. Throw for the end zone. And it's intercepted. And with a lot of room is Khalil Nash. He cuts back, makes Mayer fall to his feet. Shannon there, that is. And Milo Hill finally brings him down at about the 46-yard line. And there is flags now late. So the interception clearly will stand. And we'll see what the flag is. And wow, the 3rd interception of the game and season for Shannon Mayer. The 4th turnover of the game for the Eagles. And they throw away that gift that they were given by the Cardinals on the opening kickoff.
You know, that's a heartbreaker there, not just for the drive and the points that could have been for the Eagles, but also for Mayer's confidence. I mean, you go from throwing no picks in the first 4 weeks to throwing 3 here today. That hurts.
The penalty on the return was against Upper Dublin. They're still going to have really good field position, though. Well, I know you're a fan of vocabulary, SAT words.
Oh, yeah.
You're always trying to inform our audience. All right, give me some adjectives to describe the way the game's gone for the Eagles.
Well, deplorable would be a good one. It is a deplorable game. It has been a fiasco so far. Fiasco would be a good one. Wretched, that also would be an apt one to describe how things have gone so far here.
Well, I lied. I said the Eagles are going to have, or the Cardinals are going to have good field position, but the foul took place all the way back deep in their own territory, so 10 yards behind that, and that's where they start. And those flags before the snap, I think they're going to back up 5 more yards. I'll tell you, we keep saying how lucky the Eagles are to still be within 1 score, but I mean, sooner or later they gotta put it on the board. Time's just ticking away.
Yeah, it is possible to lose a game 8-0.
I mean, it just looks like that's going to happen right now. No, I mean, wow.
They're like in a state of suspended animation. Boyd's literally been the only bright spot.
Nine minutes and change to go in the third quarter. They run a little quarterback draw with Andrew Durr, and it doesn't work out all that well. They pick up maybe a yard or 2. So it'll bring up second and about 8. Ball at the 15. And boy, how fortunate are the Eagles that Williams went out with that early injury, because that takes a huge chunk of Upper Dublin's offense away.
Yeah.
And boy, I can only imagine what it would be if he was still doing his thing. He looked great in the first quarter. And you got a couple more here on this run, and it's going to bring up third and short.
Gain of 6 on the play.
And they'll actually move the chains. So Upper Dublin continues to eat away at the yardage, pick up a first down here, a first down there. They've only been able to put up 1 touchdown, but
more clock.
yeah, they use up so much clock and give the Eagles very limited opportunities. And in those limited opportunities, the Eagles have done absolutely nothing.
They have squandered them, if you want to use another SAT word.
They hand it off again to, the ball comes out late. It's still bouncing around. And let's see, they're going to say he was not down. This is a fumble. And now we just have to see who the refs determine gained possession. And it's the Eagles.
Wow.
Another gift.
Another gift, and they better not squander this opportunity.
I thought they were going to say he was down because he was in a cloud of men for a while, and then
he
the ball
stopped.
just popped out.
He stopped, and his forward progress was stopped. So
Yeah, very similar to the play earlier where Durr was able to get rid of the ball while he was in the grasp of a man. The refs, very late to blow the whistle, but very quick to throw the flag.
this is, yeah, very, very quick to throw the flag. Maybe this is some sort of cosmic payback for that.
Ball at the 35 of the Cardinals. And the Eagles given their second gift of the half. They hand it off to Mayer, and he gains nothing.
Great play there by number 52, Frank Urick, putting him down. Great play.
Urick's got some serious size. One of the biggest players on this Cardinals team at 6'3", 250. Eagles do clearly have the size advantage, though. I know that's something you look at.
The Eagles clearly have the size advantage, but they're just not able to exploit it here today. And I don't know why. They're just not really getting it done. They're losing the battle in the trenches.
Shannon hands off to Sheldon. He's able to fall forward and pick up about 2, but
Urick again.
it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Gain of 2. 3rd and 8.
Well, no, this is the high school game, and the crowds aren't a huge factor, and the travel is pretty small, but is being on the road affecting this team in any way?
Well, I don't know that being on the road is necessarily affecting the Eagles today, but they're not in the friendly confines of historic Roosevelt Field. So you never know. It's not like it's been a far drive for the Eagles here today. It's not like Upper Dublin's all that far away, but something is off with these guys, and maybe chalking it up to it being an away game, the first game away from Norristown, but there's something not right with this team tonight.
Well, for the second time in as many weeks, Nico DeSilvio leaves the game with an injury. Kyle McClure comes in to do the snapping. He filled in well last week, so hopefully that doesn't become a factor.
McClure was great last week, and hopefully he'll continue to do so today.
If we don't mention his name, he's doing a good job.
If you don't mention his name, he's doing a good job.
Sheldon Mayer lined up in the slot as a receiver. Mayer drops back to throw. Huge rush coming at him, takes the hit, but delivers it on target to Anthony Roby, who goes up the sideline to the 10, cuts back inside and falls forward, and Anthony Roby gives the Eagles a spark.
And the only logical conclusion is, it's McClure. He brings the Eagles luck right away.
We got another Eagles injury, though.
Will be first and goal, Norristown from the Upper Dublin 8.
Hard to see who the
Yeah.
injured player is. Eagles training staff out there taking a look at him. Looks like the left knee.
It doesn't look too good. Hopefully just precautionary, though. We got 6 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the third quarter. I'm Mark Howden. Let's get along with my color analyst Dave Vizzini, and we're bringing you football from Upper Dublin this week. And so far, Eagles have looked terrible. It's 8-0 in favor of the Cardinals. I mean, we came in here expecting to see a 2 or 3 score margin. And, man,
based on everything that's happened so far this season,
logical.
It's reasonable for us to have thought that. I mean, the Eagles' offense has been a juggernaut, just putting up big ticket gain after big ticket gain and just running all over teams. But tonight they have another thing coming, faced with this rather competitive and much better than their 1-2 record would indicate Upper Dublin Cardinals team, and that's number 52, Leo Colazzo.
Ball at the
coming
7.
Off and being attended to.
So we'll keep an eye on the injury situations with the Silvio and Colazzo, but for now the Eagles trying to punch this thing in from the 7. They got first and goal. Mayer hands it off, and
Presley gets a couple.
He's a little bit short of the goal line now.
If they don't score here, they should just forfeit.
How would you go about the play calling down here? You just hand it to Mayer and let him try and punch it in, or use Presley? Or
I use Presley right here. I let him barrel it up the middle. Second and goal. Let's see what happens.
I think it's safe to assume you wouldn't go with the pass here again. Throw it.
I'm not throwing this ball.
Well, it is Presley and Mayer in the backfield, a very dangerous combination. They hand it off to Mayer. He goes up the middle. And no signal yet. The officials mark him a yard short. Maybe less than a yard short.
Now I sneak it with Sheldon behind that big O-line. Sneak it with Shannon, sorry, behind that big O-line.
From the half-yard line.
Even with Nico DeSilvio out.
Sneak.
I wouldn't disagree with it.
And that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
The crowd making some noise here. It's 3rd and inches. They do sneak it, and Shannon Mayer is into the end zone for the first Eagles score of the game. And
big surge by McClure and company up front. Good job, and they get him in, and that is the albatross from around their neck. And happy days are here again, and we'll see what the Eagles band has to say about it.
A 2-point conversion away from tying this baby up.
You know, it's funny, Mark. When they were down 8-0, it was almost like they were down 1,000-0. But now,
felt like it.
It's a different spirit, and they're definitely going for it.
Well, for Shannon Mayer, that's his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. Add that to his 6th throwing. And now they'll try to tack on 2. This to tie the game. And a timeout taken by the defense. The Cardinals spend their first of the half. They've been not shy to use their timeouts in this game.
No, they haven't. Any possible contingency, anything, they've used a timeout. Shift in the wind, use a timeout. Grass looks a little uneven, better call a timeout.
All right, so now this 2-point conversion. What's your play call?
I run behind Robbins. And as much as I'd like to see Shannon Mayer get his groove back right now, I don't throw it with him. I stick with the ground game, and I hope that gets me in.
How about a little off-tackle run with Sheldon Mayer?
Off-tackle with Sheldon sounds good to me.
On Thursday, October 8th.
Sounds really good.
Well, I think the Eagles have done a great job of never trying to get too cute this year. They haven't done a lot of, throws when they should be running. They haven't done a lot of overly fancy trick plays. They've stuck to their guns, and it's done them great success. Here comes the 2-point conversion attempt. They're going to roll out with Mayer. It's an option, and he pitches it to Sheldon Mayer, and he goes inside the pylon for the 2. And we got a tie ball game. Would you believe it?
No. I watched it happen and even commented on it and still don't believe it. For the first half, as horribly as they played, Mark, your assessment was exactly right. Terrible, terrible, terrible play. But they're only a touchdown down, and now they're a tie game, and it's a 0-0 game all over again. So from here on out, it's all about what the Eagles make of their opportunities, because Upper Dublin's no longer winning. And now, with Williams out for what looks like it's going to be the entire game, Norristown could rewrite this script and really play a solid half of football here.
Yeah, on that two-point conversion, the little option, not going to lie, that was borderline too fancy. Like I said, they've been avoiding. But you can't question it when it works.
Nope.
And you got to wipe the slate clean now. It's 0-0. Pretend there's however many minutes there on a high school game. 48.
48.
And you just got to pretend you're starting fresh. None of that. None of those fumbles. None of the interceptions. It didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Can you do that? Is that? I mean, can these players get that in their brain?
Provided that Shannon Mayer doesn't have it ingrained in his head that he threw those 3 picks.
Gotta have a short memory.
Gotta have a short memory. But all has to go well here. This kick can't go out of bounds.
Khalil Nash back there with Salter. And it's booted away by Hillenbrand, and they'll get it in the hands of Khalil Nash. He runs to the outside and gets it just past his own 30, and the Cardinals offense will come back out with Andrew Durr and the rest of the Cardinals.
And now Norristown's defense must be up to the task, and they need to stop here.
Well, with Anthony Williams out, it's become a little bit of a two-headed monster with Tyler Marks and Luke Felix, a sophomore and a junior, and they've been mediocre at best.
They have a lot of their younger guys doing a lot of the heavy lifting for them, including quarterback Andrew Durr, who's only a sophomore, so they're relying on inexperience.
They run it up the middle for a short gain, and boy, Andrew Durr is a big dude for being a sophomore, especially. And,
second biggest guy on the team.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at him, you'd think that, I mean, he'd be throwing the ball down the field with some kind of a huge, strong arm, but we haven't really seen it.
No.
They've been going with the short stuff and the run game for the most part, and with good reason. You know, when you have that 8-0 lead all game and it looks relatively safe, no reason to take any huge risks, but maybe they'll open it up now, who knows. They use motion, and Durr hands it off to Marks, and he picks up about 2. So it's going to be 3rd and about 5.
3rd and 5. I'm the Eagles. I want to come after them, and I want to get some pressure on. That's what got them. All those sacks last week came from pressure from that defensive line with a little bit of linebacker blitzing thrown in for a little extra spice. That's what you need here now. You need some pressure on the quarterback and some plays made on Upper Dublin side of the ball.
And one of the key stats that I've seen in football is the average distance to go on 3rd down. And the Cardinals' average distance to go on 3rd down has been very short. This is a throw on 3rd down, and it's complete. Number 6. Ken Picardi on the catch, and they move the chains. So they once again go with a throw on 3rd and 4 or 5. And they move the chains on the pass.
Palatial accommodations here at Upper Dublin. It's almost like being in one of the top suites at the Sears Tower, the fabled Sears Tower. Really beautiful. And we're really enjoying the Alaskan king crab legs that they've brought us from the catering tray. Ample and fulfilling.
False start on the Cardinals there. They'll lose 5 yards.
And false start on the booth accommodations.
We get to enjoy the fresh air. How about that?
When life gives you lemons.
Hey, the rain held out. I don't know what we would do if that wasn't the case.
Well, we'd be wetter and sadder than we already are.
Shotgun for Andrew Durr. It's 1st and 15. He drops back, Larry Smith coming at him. He rolls out. Now he's going to pull it down and run. And a good open field tackle by Antonolfi. Antonolfi has been so solid all season long.
Good play by Donalfi there. Very nice play.
It'll be about 2nd and 13. And like I was just saying a moment ago, the average distance that the Cardinals have had to go on 3rd down has been relatively small. And that's a key stat that I've seen used watching a lot of football. And I think it's been a huge key for the Cardinals. How many 3rd and longs can you think of them being in? Not too many.
Very few. If they get them here, that's the perfect time for a defense to key on a blitz. The Eagles haven't been able to do that because it's been a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. They could beat the blitz with a short pass.
Timeout, Cardinals.
Timeout on the field called by Upper Dublin.
Wow.
In the 3rd quarter.
If this is a close game at the end, which looks pretty likely, that could sting.
That will definitely be big if they do that. If they blow these timeouts, I don't get the strategy.
This isn't baseball. You only get 3, right?
You only get 3. Yeah, you only get 3.
Or maybe it is baseball because it was 2-0 earlier.
Yeah, it's 8-8. The bats have awakened here at Upper Dublin.
And how big does that extra point now look? And the missed field goal. They missed the extra point.
Those are 4 points.
I mean, what's the extra point? 19 yards out, and then the field goal is probably like
27.
Yeah, exactly. And they left those points on the field, and that's the difference in the game right now.
And that's the key. That's the key to the special teams game. You have to execute. You have to go out there and you have to be flawless. Special teams is all about repetition, and that's what made Boyd's play so special in the beginning. Was he seized on a lax move by Upper Dublin special teams, and he just jumped in there and made a great play. Unfortunately, the Eagles were unable to capitalize.
Dara drops back. The Cardinals continue to throw it. They throw a screen out to number 4 and brought down from behind by Larry Smith. But not before a big gain.
You wonder, Mark, why Upper Dublin hasn't used that screen more. It's been effective a couple times that they have used it. It's 3rd and 1, so it's likely they're going to run on this play, but they really could throw the Eagles for a loop if they went right back to that screen. That's what I'd do if I were them, setting up a big play here. Go to that screen to the far side of the field. Norristown cannot stop it.
It wouldn't be the first time they threw one 3rd and short, and they've had a lot of them, as I mentioned earlier. And just to get back to what you were saying a minute ago, I mean, special teams has probably single-handedly kept the Eagles in this game. And if that Mayer touchdown punt return would have stood up,
they'd be winning.
Wow, it would be, the special teams impact would have been unbelievable. But even as it is, not too bad. They run it up the middle. And that is Anthony Williams back in the game in pads, unlike in the first half when he was on the sideline with an injured left shoulder. But they deem he can play in the second half. How much of a factor is Williams coming back?
Big factor. They've got to be happy to see him back on the field. That gives them a legitimate threat in between the tackles. Upper Dublin's got to be pleased.
Well, he's a big kid himself. I mean, we're just looking at Marks and Felix out there for a while. This dude, he's a tank.
6'1", 200 pounds, yep. Got a lot of speed, too.
Well, this game is about to get really interesting, in my opinion. Williams comes back, one of the star players in this game. The Eagles finally appear to have some things corrected and some momentum maybe, although it's slowly withering away, along with the 3rd quarter, which has now just 44 seconds and counting remaining. 2nd and 10. Some confusion among the Cardinals lining up. But they line up in a power formation with 2 fullbacks. And they run it with Marks up the middle, and he falls forward to add to what was already a good run.
Eagles went for the strip and not for the tackle there, giving up a lot of yards they didn't have to give up.
Third and 2.
3rd and about 2. That's the end of the 3rd quarter, and the Eagles, despite looking terrible and being, I think it's safe to say they've been outplayed.
Yeah,
yet
clearly.
It's a tie score 8-8 going into the 4th quarter, and ladies and gentlemen, stay fastened to your couches because we got a heck of a finish coming up for you on NASD TV for the first time this year.
Yeah, all the other games have been blowouts, and now we have the na-na-na-na section of the Land of a Thousand Dances happening again, and I like it.
Well, we got a good seat to hear the band.
Great seat.
All right, so over there on the Eagles sideline, Coach E.J. Smith talking to his players. What is he saying?
He's saying there are 12 minutes left in this game, and if you play like you played in the last 12, we'll be fine. And if you play like you played in the first 24, we're going home with a big-time loss and in shame.
The Eagles are getting destroyed in the turnover battle. I think it's like 4-1.
4-1.
And that right there is usually the ball game. And I mean, the Cardinals have outgained the Eagles in terms of total offense as well. I think it's pretty safe to say.
The 3-1, 2-1.
I don't know. I don't know how are they in this game. I can't even explain it. The Ikeem Boyd kickoff return was huge. The long drives by the Cardinals that have resulted in no points.
Oh, boy. Beautiful night here at Upper Dublin.
Run for a short gain on third down. So just underway in the fourth quarter. I'm Mark Holodensky, along with Dave Fazzini for NASD TV. We're going to have a measurement on this play. It was a big decision in this game.
Big time.
First down. Awesome. So Upper Dublin knocking on the door more or less. They're at the 27 of the Eagles.
Eagles defensive line is going to need to step up here and hold them to 3.
They line up in a power running formation, and Williams takes it up the middle, still rumbling ahead, and finally stood up. They still didn't bring him down.
Still didn't. No, we talked in the first few games about stopping the run being pride, a source of pride for a defensive line. But when you're getting blown off the ball like that, that's the most demoralizing feeling, because you know that another team is just controlling you and marching you down the field, and you're powerless to stop it. And I just get the sense from looking at this Eagles defensive line here tonight that that's how they feel. And with Williams back in that game, that's a backbreaker.
Ball at the 18, it's 2nd and 6. They run it with marks and more flags. The gain is a short one, but the flags will make or break this play.
Yeah. How many flags have we seen tonight? That's about 15.
Like I said, probably more than we saw all the home games combined.
There's an injured player on the field.
The Cardinal is down. It's not starting quarterback Andrew Duran. It's not starting running back Anthony Williams. But it's hard to tell from here, but we'll get you it as soon as we can. It is number 4, Brian Laskin. He's actually a senior and a captain for this team.
One of those starting outside linebackers that we talked about before, getting their defense coming back. They don't want to lose this guy again, but he's just coming back off an injury. So it'd be really disheartening for Upper Dublin if they lost him again.
Outside of Williams and Durr, that's probably the player they could least afford to lose. Well, we have yet to hear about the penalty.
Looks like it was a difficult decision to make. They're still making it.
Well, the first quarter went blazing by, but I mean, with all the flags we've had since then, this game has been moving slower than the Eagles' offense was in the first half.
Yeah. The penalty to no one's surprises against Norristown.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. How many of them have been against Norristown?
Most.
Probably a good 75-80%.
A comfortable most. Or an uncomfortable most, depending on how you look at it.
This game to me is so reminiscent of last year. We saw for 4 straight weeks consistent dominant play. Last year we would see a dominant week, then a terrible week, and they were interspersed.
Yeah.
This year, to
All
this
dominant.
point, it was just everything was hunky-dory. And now all of a sudden, it's like I'm back at last year.
Yeah, this is definitely a ghost of Christmas past moment for Norristown here.
The penalties,
And
the turnovers.
penalties and turnovers have been non-existent for Norristown. I mean, they haven't done it. They haven't made mental mistakes. But this game is a different animal.
I'll tell you, if they can avoid doing things like this with the penalties and the turnovers, this team, I feel like if they win the turnover battle and they win the penalty battle, they're going to win.
Yeah. All the time.
Now, that's easier said than done, but
Right. But they've been doing it.
yeah, for 4 straight weeks without any problems. And I mean, granted, the first 4 weeks haven't exactly been stud opponents, but I mean, it's not like Upper Dublin is classes above them.
Yeah. No, they're below them.
Williams up the middle. He's brought down a few yards shy of the goal line. Starting to feel some drops here.
Yeah, a little bit. Because of the new trend in booths or auxiliary booths in the PIAA.
Booths or lack thereof.
Lack thereof. It is possible for us to feel the drops.
Ball at the 4. Cardinals trying to punch it in. They go to Williams. Why not? And he is into the end zone for the tie-breaking touchdown.
Yeah. Not good for Norris down there. Not a very good drive at all.
It's 14-8 Cardinals with this extra point coming up. And these extra points could be an adventure, and this is a crucial one.
Yep.
It's good, and it's 15-8. Well, the rain, of course, causing our broadcast to make some adjustments. But what kind of adjustments do you have to make in a game with the rain?
Well, I'll tell you, you got to run more, that's for certain. One of the key components of it, you've just got to run. I don't know how you would turn the ball over any less. I guess all of that has been a rambling and somewhat confused way of saying you run the ball, you keep the ball out of the air, you've already thrown 3 interceptions, you don't want to throw anymore, and the weather just adds a confounding variable that you don't need at this time.
But then is that advantage Upper Dublin because they have the lead and they're in a better position to run the ball and work the clock as opposed to the Eagles who have to chase the deficit and might have to throw the ball a little bit more?
Yeah, but the Eagles' running game can be so explosive that you can make those quick bursts and bust out of and make big plays. Upper Dublin can't do that. But what Upper Dublin can do, as you said, is control the clock.
The kickoff is a liner, and it's right at Sheldon or Brandon Shippen actually, who slips and falls down at the 10, and with a knee hitting the turf, that's where the Eagles get the ball.
Yeah, that's where that weather comes into factor, and the weather just fell right at his feet, fell out from under him. Can't do anything about it. It's nobody's fault. It's just a slippery turf.
start at their own 9. Backs in the eye. And they run it straight ahead with Mayer. And he gets him a little bit more room. Inside of 10 minutes to go now. Time beginning to maybe start to be a factor.
Time's definitely a factor now, Mark. You obviously know the Eagles have to score. They've got to get down quickly. The official timeout for an equipment malfunction.
So Sheldon picked up about 5 on that last run.
Clock runs again. 9:37 left here to go in the game. Eagles down 15 to 8.
They throw a quick pass out to Roby. He's got the first down. Boy, every time Roby touches the ball, great things happen.
Great things happen every time.
And in that first half, that run that he made on that little end around, if you will, boy, the amount of guys he made miss was just mind-boggling. Do they need to try to get the ball to him even more?
Yeah, they definitely do, even if it's the hated wide receiver screen. I mean, I don't like that play. I never will like that play.
But it's Aunt Roby.
But I really like Aunt Roby, and you just get the ball to him any way you can.
Aunt Roby, of course, with the 40-yard dash in 4.35 seconds. That's an NFL quality time. They hand to Sheldon Mayer, who goes around the outside. And he's pushed out of bounds just beyond the 30.
Nice run.
And Roby, of course, a senior playing his college ball next year at Temple University.
I think the Eagles, it took them a long time, but I think that they finally see that they can exploit Upper Dublin to the outside with their speed. More plays outside, and despite what I say, and despite my love for up-the-gut, smash-mouth football, I think it's now time for the Eagles to use their team speed and kick this into high gear.
First and 10 from the 33, 9 minutes to go in the game. Eagles down by a touchdown. They hand it off to Presley, and he puts the ball ahead for a gain of about 3. You know, not to beat a dead horse or anything, but why don't they use Aunt Roby on kick and punt returns? I would love to see it.
I would love to see Roby on kick and punt returns. I guess they figure since he's a part of the offense and already part of the defense, but if that's true, you know, Mayer's back there returning kicks. I don't know why they don't use Roby from time to time returning kicks. Mark, that's an excellent question and a very good point.
Something to ponder. Another guy who's been a non-factor tonight, at least as far as the receiving game's going, is Evan Battaglia.
Yeah.
And now they'll hand it off to Sheldon Mayer. He bursts ahead, and he'll be about 3 yards short of the first down. It'll be about 3rd and 3. Eagles moving the ball pretty steadily here, but we have yet to see that big playability still.
Hasn't happened. The only time it happened, it was called back. And, I mean, every play's been called back today if you're an Eagle, but it was that punt return, that 91-yard punt return by Mayer earlier in the first half.
Kyle McClure is still at center, holding it down with Nico DeSilvio still on the sidelines with that injury. So I don't know if it's the same thing that happened last week, if it's some kind of a re-aggravation, but we'll keep an eye on the situation as Presley rumbles ahead, and
it looks like he's got it.
He looks like he
Forward
got
progress,
it by about a half a yard.
Yeah.
Looks good. Let's see if they move the chains. They do. 7.5 minutes to go. 1st and 10 from about the 44 of Upper Dublin, or their own 44 actually.
They're giving Roby a lot of respect. He's playing far off Roby.
Mayer drops back. He wants Roby deep on a stop and go. It's just out of his reach. He's fast, but even he couldn't catch up to that one.
That one was on Roby that time. Roby stopped too far, didn't get the break on the ball, needed to get back down faster. Mayer made a good throw, but at the same time, I put that one on Roby.
I saw him make that little stop and go move,
yep.
And right then I knew, with Shannon Mayer taking the deep drop, I knew they were going to chuck it deep to him.
Well, here's what the stop and go does. Roby stops, cornerback stops.
And Roby has more acceleration.
Roby has more acceleration. He can easily beat him. The thing is, he stopped a little too short, didn't get started up fast enough to get that ball. Mayer threw it well. Roby's got to get down there.
They'll throw it again. A short screen pass to Sheldon Mayer. He's got some room up the sideline. He's got midfield, and he's knocked out of bounds right at about the first down marker.
And where's that screen been from the Eagles?
It's been missing.
That's maybe the third time they've run it all season, and they've been running it to great effect.
Just to go back to that Roby play for just a second, though, because the Cardinals' defense, and it's typical in high school football, with just a one safety back.
One safety.
So there's not a lot of situations where you're having help over the top, and I mean that safety's largely focused on the run because the run is so dominant in high school football. And I mean, if you send Roby deep and he's got single coverage, you got to try to throw it up.
You got to throw it
at least a couple times a game.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have that two deep safety help like you do in the NFL or in college. You don't have a free safety coming over. You just have that one guy. And Roby toasts that one guy, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
Toasts him. So that makes situations like that both encouraging because you know you could do it at will, but a little bit, why haven't we been able to connect on some of those deep throws to Roby? If he can beat his man at will, why hasn't that come to fruition? A couple of those plays have definitely been Mayer, including one costly pick, but that one was Roby didn't get down there quick enough.
1st and 10, they're going to throw again. They go to Roby short, and he picks up about 7 or 8. He lost the ball, and the Cardinals think they have it, and they do. So we call for Roby to get the ball, and that happens.
Speechless.
I mean, it's not like they haven't tried to get him the ball.
They've tried.
A couple times deep down the field. I mean, we'd like to see some shorter stuff because they have tried deep several times. So, but now they finally do as we wish, and now this happens.
I know. They definitely tried to get the ball to Roby. They've definitely been trying to work him into the offense. He just didn't hold on.
That's big now. Just 6 minutes and 40 seconds. The Eagles need to make some kind of a defensive stop and fast. Williams brought down at the line of scrimmage. That's a great start.
Bloomer and the gang, along with Derek Williams, bring him down.
I mean, if the Eagles defense has a rough drive here, the Cardinals can easily just run out this clock with some kind of a grinded-out drive if the Eagles don't put up ample resistance. We're at that point in the game, though, where any drive could be the last.
What an ugly way to go. If that happened, what an ugly way to go. A 15-8 game like that, ending on a slog-it-out drive here.
But that first defensive play for the Eagles was a good one as Williams ran it up the gut for 1.
Yeah, Nick Bloomer definitely made a great play.
They hand it off again and again. There's not much there. They fall forward for a yard. That's Marks on the carry for another 1 or 2.
There's Bloomer again with the Eagles defensive line finally showing some sense of urgency and a nice run blitz off the corner, taking out the lead blocker. That's what you like to see.
And they know they're going to run in this situation. It's a clear run situation.
Clear.
And that definitely helps out a defense. But even with that advantage, still, they're doing an outstanding job.
What I do now, if I'm Upper Dublin.
You want to throw it?
And I throw it deep. They're not expecting it.
They did bring out Salter, their top wide receiver, with a couple of other receiver options, and 4 wide receivers and a shotgun pass. So they are going to throw it. They are going to throw it down the field. Durr rolling out, being pursued by Bloomer and Fellows, and it's thrown out of bounds with Mayer on the coverage.
Now they've got a punt to Mayer.
And why not just kick it out of bounds?
You should, but I don't think they will.
No, neither do I. I mean, you don't want to give the Eagles too good a field position, but I mean, come on, it's Sheldon Mayer. Well, it's 4th and 7. They really can't go for it. It wouldn't make any sense.
Sometimes taking a knee is better than punting it to Sheldon Mayer. Not in this situation, certainly, but you've got to be real judicious.
The snap is perfect. The kick is away, and he does angle it towards the sideline, and it's out of bounds at about the Eagles 43, so they do kick it out of bounds.
Pretty bad kick, but they did it. They did angle it. They kept it away from Mayer, and it's better than taking a knee.
Right. I mean, would you rather have that pretty bad kick or that nice deep booming kick to Sheldon Mayer with room?
Yeah, but see, well, yeah, you're right, because the first time it was a deep punt, a lot of hang time, booming.
Just giving him more room.
And Mayer still returned it for a touchdown. It was called back. It doesn't really matter. The only thing you can do is kick it out of bounds. A rather fatalistic way to look at it, very like Anglo-Saxon, but, you know.
1st and 10 ball at the 43. Sheldon Mayer runs up the middle, runs into a cloud of red jerseys, and I don't even know if he was able to get a yard. They will give him about a yard. It's 2nd and 9.
They're going to give him 2, but the line is confused. They said 1, then they gave him 2, and now it looks like 3. But the scoreboard says none.
2nd and 10.
So
either way, short gain.
Yeah.
4.5 minutes to go now. Eagles in undefeated record on the line in some serious jeopardy. Mayer drops back to throw. He throws a bomb for Roby, who's open, and it's caught inside the 20.
Roby catches it. There are no flags on the play.
Roby, he makes up for that fumble.
Roby redeems himself in a big way.
Boy, it seems like ever since we started calling for him to get the ball more, it seems like they've just looked his way on every play.
They listen. I mean, they're listening. It's clear they turn it into NASD TV.
And who wouldn't?
Who doesn't?
Ball at the 18, 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
The mighty band of Thanes strides up to the line confidently. See what they're going to do here on first
Chance of
down.
defense from the band and the crowd, but the handoff goes to Sheldon Mayer. Met by 2 Cardinals. He's still fighting forward. Wow, what heart in this kid.
That is a stalwart. Mayer and his stalwart kinsmen are really doing a good job here in the second half. Picks aside.
Another injury.
Another injury.
So the Eagles will get some additional time to try and think about what they want to do, but we hope for the best for the injured Cardinal. We can't tell a number with the trainers surrounding him, but both teams wishing the best.
Again, we'd like to remind everybody here tonight, you can get a clean call.
Well, after this injury timeout, it's going to be 2nd and 7, and I mean, yeah, that long bomb to Roby was great, and yeah, we're feeling good about it, but we got to punch this thing in.
If it leads to no points, we could feel as good as we want, but we'll still lose the game.
Boy, everything that's happened in this game, bad for the Eagles, and there's been a lot of it. They just got to punch this thing in, and it's all forgotten pretty much, and you pretty much start fresh again.
Yeah. There have been a lot of opportunities, though, to start fresh for the Eagles, and yet it still has come up rancid.
There's our red zone man, Evan Battaglio, lined up as a wide receiver near side. Mayer drops back, looking Battaglio's way, but now goes back far side. Unable to make the adjustment on that ball was Roby, I believe.
Perhaps a little weather-related accident there in the corner as Roby slips on the wet turf, falls down as he's trying to come back to what was not a badly thrown ball.
Yeah, Roby had to make a tough
Mayer.
adjustment, and with the conditions, like you said, not quite able to do it. And now 3rd and 7, obviously 2-down territory.
Shannon did his job. He put the ball in a place where only his receiver
that's
could
true.
get
That
it.
could not have been picked off. But now, do you go for this all right now, or are you trying to maybe run the ball, pick up 5, so you can set yourself up for a 4th?
I want to pick up a couple yards here.
They throw the ball with Mayer. He rolls out, dumps it off, has a man wide open. It's Mayer. He's at the 2, and he's brought down there, and that might be a good thing for the Eagles because they can run some more time off the clock before potentially punching it in. Oh, what a clutch play by the Mayers.
A nice call there by Coach E.J. Smith, getting Sheldon out alone in the flat. Shannon with good recognition, spotting him out there, and then the rest is history. They just he got it out to his brother, who did the rest with his feet.
Woo. That's relieving.
This is getting exciting here in the 4th quarter.
Boy, that's huge. But now they have to punch this in. They hand it off to Mayer. He's in for the touchdown, and we're an extra point away from a tie ball game once again.
Okay.
Here comes the extra point, right?
Here it comes. You have to kick this. You have to kick it.
Oh, no doubt.
But isn't there a small party that says
Wants to go for the win.
Wants to go for the win on the road?
On the road, that's a great factor to consider.
On the road,
The fact that your kicking game struggles mightily, and
Yeah.
you just drove all the way down the field, so your offense is feeling really good.
right?
Here we go, though. They're kicking an
Big
extra point.
time.
It would not
extra
be
point.
a terrible decision to go for 2. I've seen it before. It's up. It's good, and we got a tie ball game. Strap in, folks. Stay tuned to NASD TV because we got 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter. But I smell overtime.
Now, extra points in the high school game are always a not given.
Oh,
but
that's for
Captain
sure.
Clutch there, Gerald Fox, comes through.
Boy, Upper Dublin, if you're Upper Dublin, you've got to be irate right now at the fact
Oh,
that you
my
dominated
goodness.
this game so much. And now the Eagles haven't had one lead in this game, but now here they are, tie ball game with 3 minutes to go.
All of the adjectives that we used today from the SAT playbook to describe the Eagles' play have been firmly entrenched in the camp of the bad. But in the second half here, Upper Dublin's frankly looking a lot more like Unferth than they are like Beowulf, because this is a shameful effort of hiding and tears on the part of the Upper Dublin Cardinals. And the Eagles in the hierarchy of violent woodland beasts, you know what they do to Cardinals? They
eat 'em.
feast on their flesh.
And the Cardinals really failed to kick the Eagles while they were down. They really failed to put this game away when they had the opportunity. And I mean, at the time, you're just kind of like, oh well, they're still dominating. But
Yeah.
now they're paying for it.
Good kick.
And fielded by Khalil Nash. A little back juke there. Good special teams coverage, and the Cardinals will start this potential game-winning drive from the 27-yard line. And this is where guys like Andrew Durr and Anthony Williams earn their reputation as such great players. This is a huge clutch situation.
Number 13, Lawrence Cryer with a nice play there.
Boy, this is going to be a fun drive. The Eagles hope it's a brief one.
The Eagles are going to want to blitz on this drive. They're going to want to break up something in the backfield and possibly force a turnover. If Upper Dublin's smart, they're not throwing one pass on this drive.
They got plenty of time. They got 3 minutes and change. It's not like they got to bomb the ball down the field.
They don't have to bomb the ball. They run it to Williams.
And
That's
they
what I
do, out of the
That's what they
shotgun.
do.
And he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage on that spot. Well, the Upper Dublin faithful and band have grown suddenly quiet.
There's a whole lot of quiet here in the second half from the Cardinals side as the Eagles, they haven't exactly been dominant, but, I mean, they certainly have made their presence known, and they've shown why they're a 4-0 team so far.
Yeah, I mean, as poorly as many of the aspects of their game have gone, if they can find a way to win this, wow, it just speaks volumes about this team.
Great
They're rolling
coverage.
out. He's got to run it. And he's got himself a nice chunk of yardage. He may have gotten a first down.
Superior downfield coverage, but not enough pass
wasted.
pressure from the front four.
It was wasted. The great coverage was wasted, and Durr's able to pick up a long first down on his feet. Not really known as a speed guy, but we've seen him run it a couple times.
The difference between this week and last week, Mark, to go off your last point, is that last week that defensive line gets to the quarterback and they don't waste that and they don't allow him to get out there. This week he gets out and runs. He makes a nice pickup of 10 yards. That's too much. 2:23 left to go in the game, but still, they've got plenty of time.
Ball at their own 40. Remember, they need just a field goal, but their kicking game and the kicking game in general in high school isn't exactly too great. And they got 60 yards to go for a touchdown. They bring Sheldmare off the corner to blitz, and they end up with a hurried throw. And great play call.
Great play call.
Very gutsy, but it worked.
You know, to make an omelet, you've got to break some eggs, and we've talked about lemonade and eggs and all sorts of delicious
Pizza.
delicacies. Pizza, oh man, we've talked about pizza. We did more than talk about it. We consumed it. But great play call coming off the corner. I love seeing Sheldon Mayer put in positions where he gets to be a star on defense and gets to make some plays. He's not just the playmaker on the offensive side of the ball. He also does the job on defense. Very unheralded defensive player.
Very true. Known only for his scoring prowess and his offensive dominance. But yes, he's pretty much a shutdown corner. Durr on the quarterback draw. He goes up the middle and gets about 5.
Too much. He gets too much there. The Eagles' defense soft in the middle again.
And that's just like the Eagles' defensive, the corner blitz was gutsy. That quarterback draw was very gutsy. Because, I mean, if they meet him at the line for no gain, it's 3rd and long, and all of a sudden, Norristown's looking pretty good. Now it's 3rd and 5.
If they stop him here on 3rd, this is going to lead to what in college would be a deciding the fate of your head coach call.
Shotgun formation with a man in motion. Flags. Oh man, if this is a false start on Upper Dublin, that is huge.
That takes some of the pressure off the coach.
Oh man, that's big.
That'll make the punt easier to, if they don't convert to 3rd, that'll make the punt easier to justify on 4th. But the hardest call for a coach in like the high school game at this point is what to do on 4th and like 3 at this position with a tie score.
Yeah, that is tough.
That is an unenviable position to be in.
That is tough. Again, motion and a shotgun formation. Durr drops back, rolls out to his right. Winds up, now pulls it back down, goes back to his left, and now throws it down the field, and it's caught. A huge first down picked up, and more, all the way down to the 30-yard line. Upper Dublin with a clutch first down as they get down all the way deep inside Eagles territory.
Yeah, we see that arm for the first time, making a real nice play. Very good defense, but he found way too much time. He found a receiver at the last minute, and he got it to him.
And a lot of the time by his own doing as he scrambled around and bought himself some time.
Yeah.
But, man, I put that one on the D-line.
I put that one on the D-line.
And the D-line, with so many accolades and so many great plays last week, have been a weakness in this week's game for whatever reason. More flags. Another false start?
Another false start.
No, timeout.
Timeout. Oh, that's our last one.
Well, they're not going to kick a field goal from here. So, I mean, the Eagles still very much in this. Although, it looks like this game, this quarter anyway, is going to end with this Upper Dublin drive. So, I don't know. It doesn't look too good for the Eagles getting the ball back. So they just got to hope that they can make a stop and go to overtime.
Why do you call that timeout?
They've certainly been liberal with their timeout usage.
They just love it. Like there's sometimes when you go to Wawa and you're like ordering condiments, you'll get extra mayo, and that's like being real liberal with the condiments. If these guys squander timeouts for no reason. There is no reason for this.
I'm telling you that they think it's baseball because it was 2-0.
Yeah. They're sending them out to the mound a lot.
But we're looking at the Upper Dublin Cardinals, not the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
And they're threatening to break this tie. 3 wide receivers, one of them goes in motion. Shotgun for Andrew Durr, lining up alongside Anthony Williams. Durr under some pressure, throws it near sideline, and it's caught.
Trapped.
It's incomplete. That one hit the turf first. It was indeed trapped. Wow. That was, oh man. Fortunate for the Eagles there.
Good call by the sideline officials. That was underthrown and caught on the short hop.
Wow. It's exciting. We've had a bunch of blowout wins. That's great. Don't get me wrong. But this sure is exciting, and undefeated record on the line. This is where big-time players make big-time plays.
Every true team needs a test. And Upper Dublin has been Norristown's test and then some tonight. I bet Norristown wishes that they weren't quite so rigorous with their testing. But
yeah. It's kind of scary to have your test against Upper Dublin because they're going to play some much better teams. Here's Durr rolling out. They continue to throw the ball relentlessly, and he'll run it up the middle, and he's brought down after a gain of about 6.
If I'm Upper Dublin here, I take a couple shots, but They're going right
They're
back
hurrying
at
it up.
They're hurrying it up.
And they spike it. 31 seconds to go. This play's huge. If it comes down to a field goal from here,
No, it can't. They missed the 28-yard.
I like the Eagles' chances if that's the case. So, fourth and 4.
If it comes down to a field goal from here, it'll be blocked because the kicker's going to need an extra step in order to be able to have enough leg to even come close to making it. You don't kick it from here. You can't.
They're going to. Here we go. This is what it's all about.
Oh, my goodness.
This will be a 42-yard attempt. And Norristown takes a timeout. I guess half to ice the kicker and half because they're surprised by this decision. 42-yarder. Thoughts? I already know you don't know.
I've never seen this before in a high school game. I have never seen a game-winning field goal attempt of over 40 yards in any of the games in the 3 years that I've broadcast.
But imagine what that kid is feeling right now.
Intense pressure.
Wow.
I don't even have to imagine it. I know it. It's intense pressure. This is... It's fourth down. So, I mean, I'm hesitant to call it a gutsy call, but... Wow.
Saltzman, the holder.
We're all on the edge of our seats here.
Casey Boyd, the kicker, attempting it from 42 yards out for the lead. It's up. It's good. And the Cardinals have an 18-15 lead in the most stunning fashion here at Upper Dublin High School.
I am stunned. He missed a 28-yard field goal in an embarrassing way. I mean, it was short and way wide, but he nails a 42-yarder right down the middle.
In a potential game-winning situation on top of it. Wow, stunning developments, as I said.
But the Eagles are still got to receive a kick.
Oh man, 27 seconds to go.
You put Roby back there now.
You got it. You got it.
Roby and Mayer.
Sure. Unbelievable.
There's number 2, Roby.
Ask and you shall receive. If they don't score on this kickoff, is the game over?
They're going to have to go deep. Upper Dublin's not kicking it back to Roby and Mayer. But look where they're positioned, Mark. Look where Sheldon Mayer is. He's not back deep. Roby's back deep on the far side, but Mayer is up in order to try to beat the strategy of not kicking it to him.
If they squib it, Mayer's going to have a great opportunity to field it and up a little bit. And then if they kick it deep, it's the 2 ants, Denolfi and Roby. They kick it deep.
To Roby.
Roby's got it. Let's see what happens. Eagles down by 3. Roby's got some room up the sideline. Still going up the far sideline. Cuts it back. He's at the Cardinals 45, now cutting it back, starting to run out of steam. And with 11 seconds to go, the Eagles will set up shop at about the 38. And the Cardinals survived that long kick return by Roby. Man, why don't they put him back there more often?
Wow.
And now, geez, I don't know. Is that a success or a failure for the Eagles? I don't even know what to think right now. Is that good or bad? Failed to score, but they do have great field position, but they're still a good 30 yards away from field goal position.
Well, it's a failure that he failed.
Flags. Some kind of an illegal substitution or too many men in the huddle or something like that. It's got to be.
This one's going to be against Upper Dublin.
Every little bit helps. Oh, man, we got quite a finish brewing here.
Oh, wow. This is what big-time football is all about.
Now you got all the pressure on Shannon Mayer, a sophomore. I mean, there's no more. I mean,
sideline infraction against Upper Dublin.
That's great.
You don't need that.
We'll take it. And Eagles, unlike Upper Dublin, still have timeouts. Those timeouts could be enormous.
Yeah, really big.
If the Eagles use their timeouts as liberally as the Cardinals,
This game would be over. They'd
Yeah.
have one or they'd have
one shot to the end zone or
Yeah.
two. The chance of defense continue to rain down. The rain has stopped. It was only ever at a drizzle, but now we have a timeout taken by the Eagles. So they have timeout to spare. I mean, there's only 2 or 3 plays left in the game.
Two or
They
three
don't
plays
need all
left.
3 of their timeouts.
No.
So got to make sure everything's in sync right here. Ball at about the 37.5 of the Cardinals.
You're really far away to be considering a field goal at
Oh,
this
no
point.
way.
There's
From
no-
here, it would be about 55.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
NFL kickers are going to miss that pretty routinely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not a chance. Wow, Casey Boyd, though, with the go-ahead field goal just moments ago from 42 yards out, and that's why the Cardinals have an 18-15 lead. Boy, what a weird game.
What a weird game.
Dinolfi and Mayer both being used as receivers here, along with Roby and Hill.
Showing Roby a lot of respect.
They throw it short for Mayer. He plunges ahead, picks up some blockers down the sideline, and he's out of bounds with 2.6 seconds to go. Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Wow.
2.5 seconds to go. Eagles down 3, and let's see where they spot the ball. Oh, man, what a decision. Goodness gracious. As you can see, the ball being spotted at about the Cardinals 17.
They're going for the field goal.
All right. This is going to be what, 34? Oh.
37.
Oh, man.
No, that's 34. Yeah, 34.
Jared Fox, the junior kicker, to kick a 34-yard game-tying field goal here. Casey Boyd hit a go-ahead one moments ago. Now it's up to Fox to match him. Hillenbrand the holder. The kick is up. It is wide left. It's no good, and the Upper Dublin Cardinals storm the field in victory. 18-15, your final in heartbreaking fashion. That one missed by inches.
Oh, man.
Undefeated no longer, and could it have happened in an any more heart-rending manner?
A game of twists and
I
turns
don't believe it.
and trouble and triumph and tumult and tears. I think I've exhausted the T section of the American Heritage Dictionary. Oh, boy. Man, the Eagles had come back so close. To lose it in that way is heart-wrenching. Heart-wrenching loss.
Wow. I don't even know what to say after something like
A
that.
42-yard field goal to win it. That's rare enough. But then, for another high school kicker, for our guy, for Fox, to almost win it there.
Boy, that was, wow. That was wide by about a foot.
By about a foot. Oh, boy. So obviously we have a lot to discuss.
Oh, man.
The Eagles' defense was not good in the first half,
Yeah.
but it didn't kill them. It didn't kill them in the first half because they only gave up 8 points. At the same time, though, the anemic Eagles offense didn't get anything done in the first half. And by the time it was time for the Eagles to wake up, and by the time they finally did in the second, it was too late to do anything about it. Upper Dublin had the momentum. Upper Dublin is not better than the Eagles, but they were a far better team today.
Yeah,
and
and
it's a tough one.
that's the thing. Everyone's going to remember from this game. They're going to remember it's the field goal game where Boyd hit the 42-yard game winner, and Fox narrowly missed the 34-yard game tire. But in reality, they shouldn't have been in that position. The disastrous first half is what ultimately lost this game, not field goal kicking.
Yeah, the disastrous first half, Mark, is a really good point. I mean, obviously, what you want to do, if you're Coach Smith now, moving forward, is saying, look, guys, we can't forget this game because this game did the important. It performed the important function of showing us that we are not invincible. And sometimes teams, in order to win and ultimately to emerge stronger, need to be shown that they're not invincible. Upper Dublin was shown that last year by the same Eagles team out there today that now Upper Dublin comes and beats. So call it karma, call it a revenge game. Last year was a close, hard-fought match. This year is the same, except the different team won.
Yeah, Shannon Mayer threw his first couple of interceptions of the season. That hurt. Sheldon Mayer had far and away his worst game. I know last year he had a dominant first half, and then he kind of tailed off in the second half a little bit. Are you worried about a repeat of that?
I'm not so much worried about that this year. It's Sheldon's senior year. I think this 20-yard game is an aberration. I don't think that this is indicative of what Mayer's going to be doing for the rest of the season. But I do think it does mean that the Eagles are going to need to take a long and hard look about the situations they pick to choose to use Mayer in, and whether or not them so focusing on how to work Mayer into the game at the expense of some other aspects of it is a limiting factor for them.
And the amount of times they turn the ball over and without canceling that out with takeaways of their own, that to me is the key stat. That's why they lost this game. The fact that they're within 3 and within a couple of feet of a tie game, I mean, with losing the turnover battle that badly, that's unbelievable. So once again, heartbreaking finish as Casey Boyd hits a 42-yard game-winning field goal for the Upper Dublin Cardinals, and that's the final score, 18-15 Cardinals. So until next time, I'm Mark Hladitsky, and for my color man Dave Fazzini, our cameraman Griffin Blake, whole crew doing a great job here tonight, and the Eagles suffer the heartbreaking loss. So long for NASD TV. We'll see you next time.